Hi, in this session, I am going to go over the basic concepts on strategy, analytics, and financial modeling. The strategy is a combination of many elements, but what we have done here is we have organized it in such a way so that it will be easy for you to visualize the concept. Now, behind every strategy, there is an end product which you need to achieve. However, if you bring this to a much broader or a complex sort of a scenario where let's say you have a business and you want to start a new business venture, you need to first of all think about its products and services. Let's say if it's a service-oriented business, then you need to list down all the services that you're going to provide. Now, for each service, then you need to have a budget, and that budget then needs to be supported by your financial planning. So suppose if you are going to require a studio or a recording house or a place where you're going to house all the staff and the technicians, obviously you either need to rent or purchase the place. You have to rent or purchase the equipment, and you have to find out all the resources and what the cost will be, and find out ways for you to finance those resources. And then once you have these things sorted out, another strategy is the marketing strategy, which basically will enable you to make sure that you're able to sell these products and services so that you can cover up your expenses and at the end make a financial profit. For anyone who is in a profit-oriented business, at the end, their end game is to make profit when they start any new venture. All this needs to be summarized in an executive summary, or it could be an executive strategy summary where you summarize all the major points, and whoever is a decision maker or the leadership needs to review those concepts, challenge those assumptions, and if it has to be fine-tuned, relooked at, the whole process then goes back and forth till we have the end product. So strategy is basically a end game, keeping that in mind, but then going backwards to achieve that. And that is basically a very high level sort of a visualization on how you go about it. Now, a strategy, of course, needs to be done on a top to bottom process. So you have like the company board sets up the high level objective of a group of companies, or it could be a large organization, where they say, we want to be, for example, number one in this particular industry. And if that is the vision and the mission you need to have, in order for you to achieve that vision, you need to have clear activities that will be taken into consideration in order for you to achieve that vision. Then that vision mission gets translated into tactical planning. So the senior leadership agrees that this is how we're going to achieve that result. So for example, we want to be the best education provider. Therefore, we need to hire qualified staff. We need to have very high quality equipment. Our facilities have to be state of the art. So in order for us to achieve that, we need to make sure that whatever operational activities, technical activities that we do are in sort of in alignment with the top vision. The operational activities are more of a day-to-day activities, and then making sure that you have the right activities that are taken on a daily basis to achieve the tactical planning goals. So all this needs to be monitored using a process, and the planning and monitoring software basically is something that I'm going to show you in this course. And these are basically your dashboards and KPI performance indicators that should be monitored. So for example, if you were to say that my sales should have reached, let's say $100 million this year, And if it does not, then what are those reasons that it could not reach that target? So once you set a KPI, it is simply making sure that those budgets are met. And if they are met, then that's great. We all celebrate. But if not, then we need to go back and revisit our strategy. Perhaps we did not see things that were not clear at the time. We have to go back and revisit. And that whole process of going back and forth goes on. But again, the idea here is to show you the process on a high level basis so that you understand the concepts, and then we can proceed from there. Now, the financial planning or the financial modeling is basically, first of all, as I explained to you earlier, from our strategic thinking process, we need to identify the needs. We need to define our input and output. And a financial model definitely, does not give an output if the inputs are not correct. So that terminology, which is garbage in, garbage out, is basically very true in any financial modeling process. Once the inputs and outputs are agreed upon, we build and we design the model, we test the model, and finally we implement the model. But if the model does not produce the results that are in alignment with our vision, we need to go back and start the process again. So it's sort of a circular process as well. Now, all that needs to be, as mentioned earlier, we need to make sure that we can track it. Now, a lot of the data that comes out is in form of raw data. So for example, you might have timesheets, people coming in, leaving the office. You might have data collected from finance. You might have data collected from your procurement department, your other departments in sales. All this data is available, captured somehow, but in some cases it is not in the same format that you need. You might have a website on which you have social media. You may have Facebook, Twitter accounts, and a lot of your customers interact and talk about your services and products that you need to capture this data. A lot of this data is sort of unstructured data that needs some sort of a structure. You might end up having a huge data, and you might also want to subscribe to a data warehouse so that you can extract data from your existing database and match it with, let's say, another industry leader. So just to see how you stand in terms of that other competitor of yours. Now, business owners, they basically want decisions based on the latest data that you have and the trends. Therefore, obviously, it is very important to have the knowledge as a user to extract this data and from various sources, because this data is lying around everywhere. You should be able to organize it. Once you extract it, you need to organize it, you need to analyze it and report it. Again, the concept of the data analytics is exactly getting the raw data and then going through the process of cleaning it, organizing it, and then really reporting it. It is a process that needs to be followed, and it's a process that I will go through with you in this course as well. Now, once you clean up the data and once you process the data, the end result is that you are able to showcase all the information in an organized manner. So for example, your dashboard shows in the last 5 years or 6 years, how many visitors have visited your website, the kind of comments that they have inserted, good or bad or not so good, how many were you able to reply to, how many users do you actually have, unique number of users, how many files were transferred, what sort of revenue did you produce from this website, how many clicks were there, what was the page view on a yearly basis. So all this information is on the dashboard, and I will also go through with you in this course on coming up with a basic dashboard. But what I have done right now on a very high level, I've shown you a summary of what it can produce. Another example of it's a financial dashboard where you can also see your your monthly sales, and you can compare that with your budget sales and see if you're doing better or not. You can also monitor your day sales outstanding and as well as your payables outstanding. You have the accounts receivable that you can monitor, and all this is linked to your database in real time. So anytime those KPIs exceed, you will get an automatic alert, which helps you to manage your business proactively. Similarly, we have a sales target KPI. So for example, this month I only achieved 50% of my sales. Last month I was able to achieve better. Or perhaps this month I achieved 75% and last month I did 50. The kind of product sales that you have sales volume by category. You have the weekly sales during the month. Some weeks are better than the other weeks, and why is that? And how can you improve sales during this particular week? Then you have the human resources KPI, which basically is, you can have a barometer on the leadership quality, on your talent pool, your attendance. So in this case, for example, this could be that your attendance is full, so you're all good. Your staff utilization is, let's say, 70%, which is also very good. In this case, online courses, not a lot of people are taking online courses. Perhaps this is where you can give incentive to your employees for them to go online and take more courses so that they can upskill their skills, abilities, and knowledge. Here is a custom dashboard. So basically it's a mixed dashboard, so it can have sales, it can also bring in product sales, it can have a pie chart, it can have an income statement, so that you'll be able to do better analysis for your company. This is another sample of a dashboard that is basically linked with the contracts department, as well as your relationship with your cost and revenue. So I have gone through very quickly on a high level to show you what are the pros in this case. And of course, in some cases, there could be cons in terms of, you need to spend time, you need to link the systems. The system has to be linked with the correct data. In case if it is not, it is going to give you wrong results. But all those things will be talked about in this course, and I will make sure that all this concept will be crystal clear to you by the end of this course. And in case if you have additional questions, we will be addressing them in my premium subscription. And I wish you the best in this course, and I look forward to having you in my other courses.